A former U.S. defense official under the Clinton administration believes the alliance between Seoul and Washington is the foundation of security here in Asia and that it should not be sidetracked by tensions over trade. Our senior correspondent Oh Soo-young shares his thoughts.
The South Korea-U.S. alliance is the cornerstone of military deterrence in Northeast Asia, and trade friction must not weaken it. That's the view of John Hamre, president of the Center for Strategic and International Studies and former U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense, as Seoul and Washington begin a crucial round of high-stakes tariff talks in D.C. With U.S. duties on foreign steel, autos and aluminium still unresolved, along with new 10% baseline tariffs on all imports, Hamre says preserving strategic trust between the two allies is more important now than ever. While President Donald Trump's 90-day delay on rolling out country-specific tariffs has created room for dialogue with trading partners, expectations of a major breakthrough may be overly optimistic.
What I've heard from other governments that have had conversations on tariffs is that there are four things that are non-negotiable. The 10% base tariff is non-negotiable. The tariff on 25% on aluminum, 25% on steel is non-negotiable. That they've been told the tariff on cars and automobile parts is non-negotiable.
Still, Hamre sees an opening, especially for South Korea and Japan, to make meaningful progress. Acting President Han Duck-soo has called for a win-win solution, suggesting Korean shipyards could help boost America's naval vessel capacity. Seoul could also buy more U.S. liquefied natural gas and aircraft, and even address non-tariff barriers such as platform fees and pharmaceutical pricing.
Korea and Japan have sophisticated government agencies. So I think that you have an opportunity to, take advantage of this early moment. I think you're very fortunate as a nation to have an acting president who was a trade negotiator. I mean, he knows how these things go. He knows what the dynamic is like. He has a very good understanding of the Korean economy. So I think you are in, compared to most countries, pretty good condition for taking forward these conversations.
President Trump has suggested a one-stop shopping deal that presumably merges trade and defense cost sharing into a single package. However, Seoul believes security contributions and trade issues should be handled separately. In a new bilateral deal last year, South Korea had already agreed to hike its share of defense costs to support U.S. military presence on the peninsula.
Personally, I don't think it's easier to find a solution to either the tariff issue or the security issue if we put them together. Korea's spending almost 3% on its defense, and therefore that should be good enough on tariffs. So I do think it's probably important to focus on the foundational question of why is the alliance important. And I think you'll find a lot of support among American politicians for that.
The significance of these impending talks goes beyond figures. They speak volumes about the current U.S. posture over the first 3 months of Trump's second presidency. Rather than reinforcing alliance principles or addressing regional security issues, Washington has doubled down on a transactional approach with its partners.
And in my view, the U.S.-Korea alliance is the absolute foundation of security in Asia. If we're together, there won't be war. If we fall apart, I'm very worried about the future. So I hope we can stay together.
As talks begin, the consultations will not only be a test of trade policy, but of the strength and trust underpinning one of America's most vital alliances in the Indo-Pacific. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.